The threat facing Canada today comes from organized extremist movements, including factions inspired by the Muslim Brotherhood's global infrastructure. The threat is real, and the longer Canada ignores it, the harder it will be to counter.
The Muslim Brotherhood is not only a terrorist organization, but is one of the heads of the octopus that promotes other terrorist organizations.
The Muslim Brotherhood uses predominantly non-violent means to infiltrate Western countries and establish a bridgehead for future political power.
The Muslim Brotherhood doesn't make things explode. Not immediately, at least. They conquer from within. They embed themselves in universities, community organizations, civil rights groups, and government advisory boards. They use our laws, our tolerance, and our democratic systems as weapons against us.
Groups like the Muslim Brotherhood found for themselves a great opportunity to mobilize the public around the idea of doing jihad against Israel. They took the conflict and turned it into a global intifada.
और मैं समझता हूँ कि आज ये पूरी दुनिया की आवाज़ बन रही है। मैं एक दफ़ा फिर आपका बड़ा शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि आज तमाम अदयान आलम के जो रहनुमा हैं।
Iranians are freedom-loving and peace-seeking, while these groups pursue radical political Islam violence and expansion of their ideology. In my view, the Canadian government should not only list the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization, but also make real efforts to enforce such decisions.
ISIS and Al-Qaeda are public safety threats, whereas the Muslim Brotherhood is a national security threat.
The Muslim Brotherhood has invested many billions of dollars into Western democratic universities to shift the discourse, to train the next generation of Canadian citizens in this sort of twisted view of democracy.
The reality is that we think in terms of years, etc., and our opponents think in terms of decades and centuries.
The Muslim Brotherhood is not merely a religious movement. It is political ideology aimed at gaining power and constructing a religious state. If we do not act today, fear will spread, and the influence of extremist networks will grow stronger within Canadian society.
I look at the politicization or radicalization of education. There's certainly an environment which is almost as though it's a blasphemy code being brought in by the back door using these definitions that is then enforced by the school's human rights departments, who do actively enforce not criticizing Islam, saying anything counter to the Palestine narrative that we're seeing, the pro-Gaza narrative that we're seeing, is essentially understood as professional misconduct.
The strongest democracies are not those to avoid difficult conversation. They are those that confront them early, guided by principle rather than fear.
The Muslim Brotherhood, an organization cloaked in the guise of piety, yet steeped in the poison of extremism, must be banned. It must be uprooted. It must be cast out from our lands for the sake of our children, our freedoms, and our very way of life. Banning the Muslim Brotherhood is a declaration that we will not surrender our values to radicals.